10 long weeks after a massive coronavirus outbreak sidelined one of the U.S. Navy's flagship warships, the aircraft carrier Theodore Roosevelt has returned to the sea and is conducting military operations in the Pacific region. The warship had departed from San Diego on January 17th, but had to pull into Apra Harbor, Guam on March 27th and immediately implemented phased and well-thought-out strategy to tackle a COVID-19 outbreak among its crew of almost 5,000 sailors. Things have improved considerably since then. Roosevelt's team recovered its entire crew and requalified the air wing via carrier qualifications to set out on the mission. The ship left Naval Base Guam, entered the Philippine Sea, and is now deployed in the Indo-Pacific as part of the U.S. 7th Fleet. The warship is designated to provide maritime security in the region in accordance with international law and customs. Captain Carlos Sardiello, Theodore Roosevelt's commanding officer, said, "Returning to our mission in the Indo-Pacific after completing carrier qualifications is a significant milestone in Theodore Roosevelt's condition-based recovery plan. We did not give up the ship, and now our focus is on combat readiness, safety, and wellness of the crew." In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why USS Theodore Roosevelt, getting back to operation, will clip China's wings. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive military vehicle online game for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, in which you can go to battle on more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s. The game has an amazing attention to detail and focuses on a realistic combat experience, which is why knowing your vehicles and skill really makes a difference. It's easy to get into, and all you need to play is nothing more but your mouse and keyboard or controller. Immerse yourself in cross-platform combat with more than 20 million other military vehicle enthusiasts from all over the world. Download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description below, and also get a free bonus tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account. China claims almost 90% of the South China Sea through its so-called 9-dash line map. It says that it has indisputable sovereignty over the area. The wide-reaching demarcation was rejected by an arbitral tribunal at The Hague in July 2016. Vietnam, along with the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan, have disputed these claims. The route is significant, as about $5 trillion in trade through shipping passes each year. The sea also has alleged 11 billion barrels of untapped oil and 190 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. China has tried imposing a unilateral decision as per which all ships and aircraft navigating in the area need to identify themselves to the Chinese military. Chinese Navy has heckled vessels of smaller nations like Vietnam several times in the last couple of years. China has also created trouble in the border with India recently, which is seen by many analysts as an attempt to divert attention from the pressure it's facing because of the global pandemic. USS Theodore Roosevelt is a Nimitz-class supercarrier. Nimitz-class aircraft carriers were designed to be improvements on previous U.S. aircraft carriers, in particular the Enterprise and Forrestal-class vessels. All 10 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers were constructed between 1968 and 2006 at Newport News Shipbuilding Company, Virginia, in the largest dry dock in the Western Hemisphere. USS Theodore Roosevelt is the fourth ship of her class and was commissioned on the 25th of October, 1986. She's named in honor of Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States. Nimitz-class supercarriers are some of the largest vessels constructed. USS Theodore Roosevelt has a displacement of 100,000 tons and an overall length of 332.8 meters or 1,092 feet. To give viewers a perspective, it's about 3 football fields long. USS Theodore Roosevelt is powered by 2 A4W nuclear reactors kept in separate compartments. These power 4 propeller shafts that can produce a maximum speed of over 30 knots or 56 kilometers per hour. As a result of the use of nuclear power, the ship is capable of operating continuously for over 20 years without refueling and is predicted to have a service life of over 50 years. Practically, it has unlimited range and endurance. USS Theodore Roosevelt, being a Nimitz-class supercarrier, possesses a multitude of different radars, including electronically scanned array 3D radars. It's equipped with 16 to 24 RIM-7 Sea Sparrow. RIM-7 Sea Sparrow is a U.S. shipborne, short-range anti-aircraft and anti-missile weapon system, primarily intended for defense against anti-ship missiles. Its range is 19 kilometers or 11.8 miles. Close-in weapon system (CIWS) duties are performed by Phalanx and RIM-116 rolling airframe missile. The RIM-116 rolling airframe missile, also known as RAM, is a small, lightweight, infrared homing surface-to-air missile used primarily as a point defense weapon against anti-ship cruise missiles. The missile is so named because it rolls around its longitudinal axis to stabilize its flight path, much like a bullet fired from a rifled barrel. It has a range of 9 kilometers or 5.6 miles and a speed of Mach 2. The Phalanx weapon system is a rapid-fire, computer-controlled, radar-guided gun that can defeat anti-ship missiles and other close-in threats on land and at sea. It's a last-ditch defensive weapon and is designed to defeat anti-ship missiles and close-in threats that have pierced other lines of defense. It has a range of 2.2 miles or 3.5 kilometers and has a rate of fire of 4,500 rounds per minute. The USS Theodore Roosevelt has a 63.5 millimeter or 2.5 inch Kevlar armor over vital parts. Theodore Roosevelt and those Nimitz-class carriers completed after her have slight structural difference from the earlier carriers USS Nimitz, USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, and USS Carl Vinson, and improved protection for ordnance storage in her magazines. The Nimitz-class supercarrier's main offensive force consists of the FA-18 Hornet and the FA-18 Super Hornet. USS Theodore Roosevelt can carry around 60 of these and will be the trump card when it comes to enforcing air dominance. These are twin-engine, supersonic, all-weather, carrier-capable, fourth-generation multi-role fighter aircraft and can carry ground attack weapons as well as air-to-air missiles. The versatility of the aircraft can be gauged from the fact that on the first day of Operation Desert Storm, 2 FA-18 Hornets, each carrying 4 2,000-pound bombs, shot down 2 Iraqi MiGs and then proceeded to deliver their bombs on target. Apart from these fighter jets, USS Theodore Roosevelt has EA-18G Growler and E-2C Hawkeye. The EA-18G Growler is an airborne electronic attack (AEA) aircraft. It's capable of electronic attack (EA) and suppression of enemy air defenses (SEAD), particularly at the start and ongoing early stages of hostilities. Northrop Grumman's E-2C Hawkeye is a carrier-capable AWACS aircraft. It's designed to give long-range warning of incoming aerial threats and has a secondary role of command and control. The flotilla of aircraft has enough firepower to mount a credible offensive against any Chinese misadventure. The absence of USS Theodore Roosevelt had invigorated the Chinese military. Chinese action in recent times seems to suggest that the COVID-19 situation was being seen as an opportunity by them. Chinese strategists felt that since most nations were looking inward in these challenging times, it would be able to leverage the situation. The latest political maneuvering strongly suggests the same. Over time, China has proved to be very cunning, and it's often used deceit to further its agenda. USS Theodore Roosevelt's presence near Chinese homeland will be a deterrent as it can project a lot of firepower from the sea. It's important to note that the supercarrier is always supported by multiple destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and other assisting vessels. A task force like that has massive capability and can handle any Chinese action. China has already started the de-escalation process with India, and it's likely that China will now step back as it comes to term with the presence of USS Theodore Roosevelt.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.